Well, for me, I have a lot of experience with depression, and it's a feeling for me, it was for a feeling of not being loved, or feeling separated and alone. And to a degree, I think a lot of us feel that way. And I think certainly artists, I'm just speaking for myself again, I can't speak for everybody else, but I think a lot of artists do have a feeling of separation and a longing. And I think that depression will come from the longing being unfulfilled. And you got to find what in your life, what brings peace and joy to your life, no matter what that may be. And I think that's what will destroy depression and alleviate it.
Okay.
But do you get depressed?
Yes. I've had days. Yeah, I've had days. I'm human. I'm human. I'm in this skin spacesuit, right? Who wouldn't? When you're aware that you're here on Earth and you're in this spacesuit and you're stuck here for a while, who wouldn't get depressed? The rain does not depress me. I'll just have you know that. The rain invigorates me. So yeah, I've had depression. I've had bouts, you know, and I embrace that too.
What is depression?
What is depression? You know, I guess a lot of people think that depression is chemical, which it probably is, but you know, everything in our body and mind is chemically regulated. So I don't know. I think that's a tough one. What is depression? A lot of times I think people are depressed because they don't see how good their lives are, you know. People don't take the time to acknowledge the things that are good about themselves and about their lives in a day, you know. It gets to be a drag if you're not, you know, really, especially in a world with so much negativity, if you're not focused on the things that are positive in your own life, it's easy to get down, you know.
Have you ever been depressed? What is depression?
I think it's an unfounded unhappiness. It's unfounded. If you really knew how to live, you could be happy every second. But who can figure that out?
Pharmaceutical companies, I guess. I
Yeah.
really don't know. Yeah, that one got me there. That's a good question. What's the worst depression you've ever been through?
Wow, I'm pretty good in the happiness. I'm pretty squared away in the happiness department. I really am. The worst depression, really, was when I used to do drugs, and I came off of many, many years of drugs, and I had a biological depression. And it was, it took me years to come out of that. But I've been drug-free for 20 years. 20 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Well,
What kind of drugs?
My worst bout of depression was, many, many years ago, and it was, before a sort of a big change that happened in my life. But up until that point, I was pretty suicidal, you know, and I came pretty close to suicide at a certain point. So that would be my biggest bout.
What's your worst bout of depression you ever been through?
Oh, I went through a long period when I quit doing drugs and alcohol, and I had gotten rid of all the stuff, and I was going through life, and I'm going, why is life not getting better for me? And that's when I really got acquainted with the dark night of the soul, and I went through a year and a half of just completely being, man, why is this not getting better? And at that point, that was probably the worst. I'd wake up every morning. I I had a 45 loaded that was sitting on my kitchen table, and I'd look at it and thinking, is this the day? Is this the day I'm going to end it? Because it doesn't seem to be getting better. And so when I had help, I had friends help me to get through that. And like I said, I set aside everything that I thought I knew about what was going on, and had an open mind through a spiritual experience of looking a different way and realizing that my perceptions were quite possibly wrong and off in what I thought about how things were going and how they should go. I had a lot of attachment to the way I thought things ought to be. And that will provide a lot of pain and misery, you know, if life isn't going the way you think it should. But I learned some tools through being helped by other people who've been through similar things, and I made it out the other side.
What stops you from blowing your brains out? Or jumping a bridge or
Yeah.
whatever?
Well, what stops me from blowing my brains out today is I have no desire to do it. You know, I feel like you know, this is the one time to be alive, and feeling things, whether they're, you know, whether it's pain or love, that's a privilege. You know, when you're dead, you're not going to feel anything, and you know, it's like just one of those things I wouldn't want to, you know, give up on early.
What stops you from blowing your brains out?
I love these questions. God, I wish you would have asked me these 30 years ago. I would have had some juicy bits for you. God damn, I just saw something about Bill Burr last night where he said he was talking about suicide, and it was so funny. So funny. He said it's not the big things that that he would blow his brains about. It was the little tiny things that he would blow his brain out about. What keeps me from doing it? That'd be too much of a mess for Tad to clean up. I can't do that to him.
This is what it is. I can choose to take it personal or not. And I'm not going to take it personal, and I'm going to move on. And of course, when we lose loved ones, these are people that are important to us, or a being, a dog, a cat, a bird, you know, you name it. Those are the things that are right and natural, is to grieve. And that's part of being a human being, I believe, and having an emotion. And that's not a bad thing. I think there's a big difference between grief and depression.